It's time for Kearney Live. Today on Kearney Live, we're talking to Kearney Police Chief Mark Thomas, Paula Zigmond from Clay County Senior Services, and Stacy Holtzclaw from the Kearney School District. Now here are Jim Dickerson, Stacy Bratcher, and Nick Vasquez.
Hello and welcome back to Kearney Live. I'm Jim Dickerson, joined as always with Stacy Bratcher and Nick Vasquez. Good to see you both back again. And we were supposed to break into some news here, but I got to be honest, we don't have any news, anything that's local or anything good going on. I can't tell you, it's a little bit warmer lately. So
yes, this week is beautiful.
Anybody
busting out shorts and t-shirts already.
We say that as we're all sitting here still in winter attire. We're still a little nervous about running out and doing all that.
But man, that Arctic blast, that was something.
That was unacceptable.
Had some record low temperatures.
We had Snowmageddon and then we had the Arctic blast.
Yeah.
I'm done.
There you go.
I'm over it.
So what we could ask about this. So Kearney,
yes.
How did Kearney handle the snow plowing in the city? Because I know Kansas City, not good, not good at all.
Everything I read said it was really smooth, and we came in on, was it 2 Tuesdays ago when they canceled school after President's Day, and the roads, at least in town, they were good.
That was my experience.
Until it started snowing again, right, Nick? And then
yes,
you came in and told me, what was that on?
Was that
Thursday?
Was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. I said,
that it got
but it
really
wasn't
slick.
because of any of the city work or anything. It was just that it was time
just
to
the
go.
snow happened
Yeah,
again.
The second round again.
Yes.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
But no, our crews here in Kearney, they do an amazing job.
So maybe they could run over and give a training program to Kansas City folks. But anyway,
Maybe.
All that said, let's introduce you to Brian Watts. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Good
Brian.
to see you again. How were your roads?
My roads were good. I live in the city, so just like Stacy and Nick, they were good.
That's good. Well, so moving on, it's a good thing. If the roads were really bad, we would have had to call the police.
Coming up next, we have Chief Mark Thomas with the Kearney Police Department. He is going to tell us more about a fantastic new initiative that the police department will have coming up on the April ballot. So can't wait to hear more about that coming up next on Kearney Live.
Explore a place to visit. Explore knowledge. Explore fun. Explore relaxation. Explore adventure. Explore a hometown. Explore Kearney, Missouri.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. The Kearney, Missouri Police Department serves over 11,000 people who live and work here. And according to the city's website, calls for service have risen from about 4,000 in 2022 to almost 6,000 in 2024. Chief Mark Thomas is here today to talk about that and a new initiative that will be on the April ballot for a safer and stronger Kearney. Mark, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate it.
So I'm just going to open it up for you. I'm not going to ask a direct question yet. What is it you want us to know today?
Well, the city of Kearney has an opportunity here to look to the future. And what we want to do is we want to take a proactive approach with our police department funding. And what we're looking at is being able to do a better job of serving our citizens.
Okay. So the department has grown quite a bit over the last few years. You've added new positions, new assignments, working more closely with the school district. You, as a new chief, have brought new initiatives to the department. Tell us about some of those.
So some of the things that I take a lot of pride in is our community outreach, and our SRO is he started this year, so we'd like to add more SROs because of the success of that program, but we can't do it without funding. The other things that I'm really pushing for our police officers to get out there and do is more community policing, to get out and on their own they're taking the initiatives to get out and do programs with little kids and talking in schools and doing something as simple as snow angels in the snow at Lions Park. That's a lot of fun. And so we're able to connect with the youngsters in the community and their parents, and that's a great thing. So I like to push that. Acknowledge that. It's a really good opportunity for everybody. So.
Great. When you had told me earlier about trainings, that in the past trainings meant different things, and you're trying to streamline those so that teams or crews can train together. Can you tell us more about what you're trying to do there?
Yes. So we have 4 squads, 4 people each squad. We cover 12-hour shifts, and so there's a sergeant, a corporal, and 2 police officers on each squad. I call it tactical training as far as from a firearms perspective. So in the past, different agencies have been, we would sign up for range on a certain day, show up and shoot with whoever showed up on your signed-in date. What I want to do is to bring that team together and have them train together, because we know when it comes to a tactical perspective or something that goes really, really bad, we're going to revert back to the way that we train. And so I want to step up that training a little bit, have everybody train together when it comes to that squad, and so that they know how to communicate better. They know what people's pluses and their strengths and weaknesses are. They know how to enter into a room in a tactical perspective. But unfortunately, the only way that you can do that is to take that squad off their shift.
Right.
And so that's expensive, because you have to bring another squad of officers in to cover their shift.
Right.
And it costs money. So it's an expensive way to train, but it's the right way to train, in my opinion. So.
Right. Well, and you have a question, Jim?
Yeah, I wanted to go back. Just a curious question. You said that the calls, based on what Stacy said, the calls went up from 6,000 from 4,000. What do you attribute that to, or do you have any idea?
So a call for service is a lot of different things. It's not just a radio call, as we used to call them. It could be also considered to be a car stop. And so we probably have more officers since 2022, which means the probability of more car stops. And that would also increase that. We have e-ticketing that we have as that the city has purchased for us, which means the ease of issuing a summons or a warning or something like that is a lot more efficient. So we can get, but I say that my favorite thing to say is, you can buy e-ticketing all you want, but if you don't have an e-police officer out there working hard, and that's what I'm proud of. Our guys are working really hard and getting out there and being visible. And taking care of business.
So, and a question, and I don't mean to catch you off guard with this, but you've got within Kearney, the public opinion of the Kearney Police Department has always been sky high. The positive impact and that. But from a crime perspective, have you seen any increase, decrease, or has it pretty much stayed the same? Your crime rate overall over Kearney, because now it's not just Kearney. You've got Liberty's expanding, everything going
Kansas
on
City.
around us. Yeah, Kansas City. So have
And
you
I'd
seen
even like
any?
to know, like, specifically where you see the most growth in crime?
Well, we've seen an increase in stolen cars, a little increase in property crimes. Some of these things happen with time. I don't really have an answer to it. Sometimes it's situational. You know, sometimes these crimes happen within Kearney by people that live in Kearney. Certainly, we see some increase in things like domestic violence and that sort of thing. It's a concern, but I wouldn't say that it's a grave concern. It's almost, and I haven't looked at other towns around us, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're probably commensurate with them. I think we're going to be really close to what's happening in Liberty, Smithville, Excelsior, that sort of thing. I think it's unfortunately kind of a sign of the times.
It seems like with I-35, maybe are we getting more outsiders coming in causing trouble?
Probably so. You know, but I've not looked at it, to be honest, to say that that's the source of our troubles. I think that where we're at as a society is that a lot more things are happening that lead to criminal behavior, unfortunately. You know, and that's unfortunate. But we just want to be prepared for that. We want to do a better job of reacting to that, but more importantly, I want to go to more of a proactive stance instead of being reactive. And so what we want to do for the future with this Proposition A is we want to prepare for those things. I want to have some different positions coming forward. One of the positions I'd like to see is more SROs. I think that's important for our kids in our schools. And I think that's an important step to be able to establish that relationship with police at a young age, to let them recognize that we're not here to take them to jail, we're here to help them out.
Right.
It used to always drive me crazy when somebody would come up in a restaurant and say, hey, you better behave and eat the rest of your, peas or something, or that
Right.
police officer over there is going to bring you to jail. You know,
Yeah, they put the fear.
I always, without fail, would get up, go over and get down on one knee and explain to that young person that I'm here to help you. If you ever need help, you look to me and I will be there. So that's a big thing. That's for me personally.
Nice.
So.
Well, in Kansas City, it's a really hard market to be able to provide salaries for police officers. It's like a bidding war almost, and you can, if you're an officer, you could jump from department to department chasing after that highest wage. How is Kearney keeping up with the rest of Kansas City, and how is your recruitment going?
Right now we're full staff, which is an amazing accomplishment. A lot of my area, neighboring chiefs of police are very jealous of that.
Yes.
But what they do, and other agencies are doing it all over the metro, are sign-on bonuses and higher salary than what we're able to pay. We're kind of middle of the road as far as salary is concerned, starting pay. The challenge comes in is keeping that person that's been on for 10 years or 15 years. Those rates are hard because other agencies are bumping those up, and they're recognizing and giving credit for someone that already has that time in place. Let's say that somebody has 10 years on, and another agency will hire them in and give them credit for that 10 years and then start them out at a higher rate on top of that. That's a challenge for us. We have a lot of great things about Kearney. I was at an event last weekend, and I actually he didn't know I was the chief, but we were talking around the table, and an Independence police officer actually told one of my officers that was sitting at the table that, I hear some great things about working at Kearney, and he blamed it on me, and I had to give him $5. But other than that, it was a good. It was a good sentiment, because I think that I don't take credit for that. It's the city, it's the support that we have, and the citizens that really are come around us. And we've got a great group of people that work there at the police department that it means a lot to them to come to work for the city of Kearney every day.
So you mentioned the public and how supportive everybody is. The media wants us to believe that the police are the enemy and how horrible and bad and that everybody hates them. I know there's a different picture from from where I live. Tell us the picture you see from our community and the support you receive.
You know, it's pretty cool. I'll be honest. It's not uncommon for a little old lady that we went to do a status check on, that maybe her daughter hadn't talked to her in several days and she's not answering the phone because she's mad at her or whatever the deal is. And we go talk to them and spend a little time with them and everything. It's not uncommon for her to stop by a couple days later and bring in cookies. You know, I mean, and that's really cool. That tells me that that we're doing our job right as far as that goes, and we're representing the people that live here correctly. You know, it's the signs of appreciation are always there.
Nice.
It never fails. They appreciate us doing our job in a professional manner, and I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah. Okay, so you have this big Prop A coming up in April asking for a 50-cent sales tax.
Yep.
I believe there was a prop just a few years ago, the PPP, for police, parks, and pets, I
Okay.
believe it was. This is the hard-hitting question,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I've heard maybe there's some opposition for the Prop A 50-cent sales tax because some people are remembering that there was this promise for police with that last city initiative.
Right.
Would you like to speak to that?
If I have my facts straight, and I'm going to put a caveat by that because I wasn't here when that PPP
Right.
went through. I think that we received 2 positions out of that funding.
Okay.
And so those are 2 full-time police positions that we received. This funding is different. So what we're looking at, pardon me, it's a sales tax.
Right.
And so that would affect not only the citizens of the city of Kearney, but everybody around the city of Kearney that lives in all the neighborhoods that are around Kearney. We're surrounded by big, neighborhoods and that sort of thing.
Right.
It would also, you talked about the people going up I-35.
Right.
So if they stop off and they go to, Price Chopper for some food or whatever,
Right,
then they would be
Starbucks.
helping, Starbucks, right? They would be helping to pay for a police department. Same thing if they stay at one of our hotels. The same thing, 50 cent, which basically means on a $10 purchase at Jimmy John's or something, it's a nickel. And for the, let's say, $100 purchase at I almost said Big V. Sorry about that.
That's old school.
Yeah, I've been around for a while. No, at Price Chopper, it's 50 cents. And so it's not a huge ask, but it will generate about $900,000 that's a year specifically for the police department. Now that number, obviously, as things go up and time proceeds, may go up as far as that goes. It's similar to what the fire district did last year.
Right.
Right. The difference being, since it was a fire district, they keep theirs, and then with ours being a public safety, we keep ours. So we don't. If it was a fire department, we'd have to share with the fire department. But since we each have our own, it's different.
Right. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming and speaking with us and
You're
being a
welcome.
part of this today and helping us understand Prop A. And we can't wait to get to the voting stations in April and see what happens.
We're here to educate, and anything we can do to help. If anybody has any questions, they're welcome to stop by the police department or anytime. We'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has, and certainly get a hold of me or one of my guys, and we can explain it all. So
Beautiful.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief Thomas.
Thank you.
Hey, Nick, what have we got coming up next?
Yes, we have Paula Zigmond here to talk about some of the programs and services from Clay County Senior Services. We'll discuss it next on Kearney Live.
And then we're supposed to continue.
Kearney Trust Company is your local bank offering personalized financial services with a focus on what matters to you. From checking and savings accounts to home loans and retirement planning, they're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Kearney Trust Company is a partner for success with 2 locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. 816-628-6666 or kearneytrust.com. Kearney Trust Company, banking you can trust, member FDIC.
At Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, they believe that your health starts with your spine. Using gentle, effective chiropractic care, they focus on restoring balance to your body and improving your overall well-being. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center is taking appointments now at 816-628-6738. The office is located at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney, and their website is kearneyfamilychiro.com. Experience the power of wellness at Kearney Family Chiropractic Center.
Platte Clay Electric Cooperative is more than just your energy provider. They're your neighbors, too. For over 85 years, they've been powering homes, businesses, and communities in the Northland with reliable, affordable electricity. As a cooperative, they're owned by you, the members. That means every decision they make is focused on serving your needs, not profits. From maintaining safe and efficient power lines to offering energy-saving tips, they're here to support you every step of the way. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative, empowering communities and energizing life with safe and reliable energy.
Welcome back to Kearney Live. This year, Clay County Senior Services celebrates their 20th year of service. They support Kearney Enrichment Council and Kearney Senior Center activities in many ways. Program and Resources Manager Paula Zigmond is here to tell us all about Clay County Senior Services. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, so tell us about, give us some background on your position and what that looks like in relationship to the Senior Services.
Okay. Well, my official title is Program and Resources Manager, and what that does is encompass a lot of things. But I try to keep up on all the things happening for older adults to give them quality of life in our county.
Okay, now how long have you been with the Senior Services?
Oddly enough, I started my 20th year.
Well,
wow.
all right. Congratulations.
Yes.
Now, when we talked earlier, you said that this week was going to be a focus of some celebrations.
Yes.
So tell us kind of what that looks like.
Yes, 2025 is Clay County Senior Services 20th year. So we are planning on doing some special events at senior centers, some of the senior communities. We'll be focusing on the Meals on Wheels programs, doing special gifts for all the clients and the volunteers, and just any way we can to have a special event, especially May Older Americans Month coming up too. So some things in the works.
Now, how do you coordinate that with your office and all the different individuals' places? What does that look like?
Yes, well, we have a great staff of 4 people, and so we stay in touch with all of our partners. We're big on partners in the community. So, you know, we might reach out and say, hey, would love to have this event at your senior center, you know, and we'll bring cake and whatever else we need to bring.
So there's going to be cake.
Oh, sure.
I'll be there
All
for
right,
the
all right.
Can we get that schedule in advance
bet.
so we know where we can do that?
Yes.
Now, you talked about a tax levy.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Yes, in November of 2003, the tax levy was passed in this county to support people 60 and over. And so the office actually opened in 2004, began really services in 2005 though. So this is, you'll see it on your property tax bill, senior services.
So for someone who's not familiar with the senior services, you mentioned Meals on Wheels
Yes, great
and some
program.
celebrations. What are other programs that you can tell us about that someone may not know about?
Sure. Well, we do everything from basic needs like transportation, home repairs and safety modifications, personal emergency devices, push the button in case of emergency. And then we think about other services too to help people have enriching lives. And so we have a lot of educational programs, discounts with community centers to help people exercise and stay active. So a whole range of things for people.
Do you all do the transportation service?
Yes.
For bringing seniors to, whether it's the grocery store or a doctor's appointment or what have you?
Yes, yes, a lot of that we do, and there's some other programs as well in the area.
That's great. I've always been interested in elder abuse, and I'm not interested in,
Right.
but in
I
the
was looking for a
process
little
of
clarification.
watching for that and reporting it.
Right.
Can you tell us a little more about that process?
Yes, and people often call our office because there's a lot of similar names in senior services. So actually the office that handles that is the Department of Health and Senior Services. So I have the hotline memorized though, because we get a lot of calls.
All right.
And so that's what we do, refer them.
What's the hotline?
1-800-392-0210.
Nice.
There you go. You might want to give them a call since
You're interested
so
in it.
interested in it. How many people, seniors, do you actually service or help out in a month or a year?
Oh, darn it, I'm not prepared with that information, but our annual report will be coming out soon, so we'll have all those figures. We're collecting them.
Yeah, I was
Great.
just curious. I'm sure you have a large number. I just wondered if you knew how much.
Well, just say like in one service, like the personal emergency response, we have over 700 people just registered to get that.
Oh, wow.
So, but I can't give you a whole number.
Well, so you were talking about, the different. How do you get your funding? Where does your funding come from for the
From
whole
that
program?
tax levy.
The
Yeah.
whole funding, all of it comes from it?
Almost all. Once in a while, we'll get a grant for something special, like during COVID times, there were some special grants for transportation and things like that. But largely, it comes from the tax levy.
Okay.
Excellent.
So tell us what, you obviously wear a lot of different hats and there's a lot of things going and a lot of moving pieces. What does the average week look like in your schedule?
Yes. Thanks for asking that, because that's why I love the job, because it's not ever the same. I talk to people a lot on the phone, or if they happen to come in the office, about resources, maybe adult children saying, my mom and dad are going to need some help. Where do I go? What's available? So there's that part. But then I also get to lead a lot of the classes. I'm trained in Matter of Balance, Living Well with Chronic Conditions, Aging Mastery Program. So I get to go out and do those programs too.
Yeah, that's so important, being able to help our seniors age in place.
Yes,
And just
yes.
taking away those simple tripping hazards. Like Brian, our engineer, Brian, has all these cords laying across the
Yes.
floor, and although he does have a rug down, that is one of those simple tripping hazards in a senior's home, is the extension cords, the rugs, what have you. And it's just simple things you can do that can really keep a senior in their home for many more years.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, because, 98%, I'll estimate, of people, they want to stay in their homes,
Absolutely.
So anything we can do to help with that.
And you brought up education, and I know there's education on not how to trip over things
Yeah.
that Stacy worries about. And I'm sure our legal department's glad she pointed out we have cords all over the floor. But what other educational things do you have for the seniors?
Yes, well, we love to partner with agencies. So we have partnerships with like North Kansas City Hospital, the community centers, like I said, if they have classes, North Kansas City Parks and Rec, Kearney and Richmond Council, other school districts if they have community education. We even have a partnership with Kansas University's Osher Institute, so people can get classes at a discount, or they can get some money towards a class each semester.
Nice.
Have you ever been up to Kearney's Senior Center for their dancing?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I've heard
Yeah.
that's a great time.
Sure, sure. I love the people over there.
Yeah.
So, like most things, I doubt that what this looks like now is what it did when you first started.
Right.
So where have you seen the greatest evolution as you've spent your 20 years doing this type of work?
Yes, well, I love all the things we keep adding and the new agencies we keep partnering with, because now, you know, our staff and our board, which we love our board too, we have a more far-reaching idea of what older adults, because when you think about it, 60, but people are living to 90, 95, and they have different needs. So we're trying to always add new things to make it interesting for the whole range of people.
So if you were going to tell someone who, like, they you know, how would you summarize the work you do and the importance of the work you do? You seem very passionate about it. So I want to give an opportunity to hear what you would tell someone about the importance of what you do and how what you've seen.
Yes, well, that's a lovely question, because I feel that as an older adult myself, I have much more to think about this way. So any one thing, you know, that we can do to help people, either to age in place, stay in their homes, be safe, keep their mind working, keep those brain cells working, you know, that's so important.
Yes.
Yes. So if someone wants to learn more or get in contact, we need some of that information. So how would they do that?
Yes, well, our website is claycoseniors.org. We're on Facebook, of course, and I put out a lovely bi-monthly newsletter, so people can call and they can either get it in their email, or I still regular mail people a copy of it too.
What is your email address?
Yes, you can go to our website, and it's info@claycoseniors.org, and those come to me.
And in case somebody would actually maybe want to call, can you give us your phone number?
816-455-4800.
Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for shedding some light on that for folks who maybe don't have a contact. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Fabulous. Thanks for all your work.
Yes.
Thank you, Paula.
Jim?
Thank you. Coming up next, Stacy Holtzclaw is going to be on the hot seat. She's going to talk about the hiring fair coming up this month and some real-world learning experiences for the students. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Kearney Trust Company is your local bank offering personalized financial services with a focus on what matters to you. From checking and savings accounts to home loans and retirement planning, they're here to help you achieve your financial goals. Kearney Trust Company is a partner for success with 2 locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. 816-628-6666 or kearneytrust.com. Kearney Trust Company, banking you can trust, member FDIC.
At Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, they believe that your health starts with your spine. Using gentle, effective chiropractic care, they focus on restoring balance to your body and improving your overall well-being. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center is taking appointments now at 816-628-6738. The office is located at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney, and their website is kearneyfamilychiro.com. Experience the power of wellness at Kearney Family Chiropractic Center.
Platte Clay Electric Cooperative is more than just your energy provider. They're your neighbors, too. For over 85 years, they've been powering homes, businesses, and communities in the Northland with reliable, affordable electricity. As a cooperative, they're owned by you, the members. That means every decision they make is focused on serving your needs, not profits. From maintaining safe and efficient power lines to offering energy-saving tips, they're here to support you every step of the way. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative, empowering communities and energizing life with safe and reliable energy.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. The Kearney School District and the Kearney Chamber of Commerce have been hosting separate hiring fairs for the last several years, but this year they're teaming up to have one big fair. Stacy Holtzclaw from the Kearney School District is here to talk to us a little bit about that and some real-world studies curriculum as well. Welcome to the program. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with the hiring fair. Tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to and what's going on there.
Very good. Well, on Friday, March 21st, we will be hosting a hiring fair for all of our high school students to go through. In the past, we've tried to partner with the Chamber of Commerce. It just hasn't worked out. We found a way to do it this year, so I'm really excited about that. And what it will look like is all of our high school students will go through the fair in the afternoon, and then at 2:30, then anybody in the Kearney community is welcome to come in and to go through the fair. And basically what we are looking for is we are looking for people who can offer part-time jobs to our students, full-time jobs to our graduating seniors, things like that, and to our full-time jobs for our community members as well.
How many job or what would you call them, employers do you have coming this year?
Right now we have about 20, and I'm hoping that we can get more to jump on board. I know that the Kearney Chamber of Commerce and myself were both reaching out to additional people to try to get them in. So anybody that is interested can either email myself or email Stacy Bratcher, and we will be happy to give them the form to sign up. It is free. There's no fee to set up a table there. We will actually take care of the table setup for you. All they have to do is show up and be willing to talk to people about jobs.
And then these could be any kind of jobs, part-time, full-time,
seasonal,
anything
yes,
like that.
Yeah.
So we've covered this a little bit before. It's going to be a little off maybe the topic for just a second. As a future employee who comes to the job fair, what should they do? Because we run into this every year. They show up in their best T-shirt and flip-flops, or they bring a wad of paper and might of which have some sort of resume or something. As someone seeking a job, what do you recommend? How do they come prepared so they can get that job?
Okay, that's a great question. I always tell everyone, no matter what the job is that you're interviewing for, if you really want it, you need to bring your A game, okay? Yes. You need to come dressed up. That doesn't mean you need to be in a tux. But if the job is appropriate, you need to have on nice, clean jeans, no tears, a nice shirt, hair trimmed. You need to have a resume, okay, and one that is updated. Practice interviewing questions. Be thinking about those. Always give examples to back up your interview questions. There are lots of things that they can do to come prepared. And honestly, if somebody truly wants the job, they will be prepared.
The one thing I would say too, and see if you guys agree with me, is when you go to these hiring fairs, don't set your sight on one job where you said it, or I'm gonna, what's a big time job somebody would want other than Equity Jet? Forget that one.
A lot of people come to the fair for teaching.
Okay, teaching.
Okay.
Don't get locked into a teaching job, because there are so many people there. You may end up talking to somebody that's in another position that might be a really good fit for you.
Absolutely.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I agree completely. You know, I know this is an old saying, but you truly don't know what you don't know. And until you find out about all of these different careers, you don't know if you're a good fit for it or not. The other thing that I would say, and this would be if someone does take a job, give it some time. You know, too often we have people that want to quit after a few weeks because it's uncomfortable or they don't like it. Yet jobs take time to get used to, not just in learning the tasks, but becoming involved with that culture, and it just give it time.
Yeah. And to your point, Jim, in the past we've had people come through the Chamber's hiring fair that they were there just specifically for one particular employer, and they refused to go talk to the others, where they might have come to talk to Kearney School District to find out about instructional type of occupations, but the construction guy a few tables over had a training position, where he needed someone to instruct the trainings things. So I agree, don't close yourself off to the other opportunities that could fit in with your skill set.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing that I would add, and this is something that we saw at a hiring fair that we hosted together a few years back, was if you're a young adult or really any age, please don't bring your parents in and have them do the talking for you.
Yes.
This is not the time or the place for it.
Yes.
You need to be, if you are old enough to get the job, then you need to be old enough to do the talking.
Absolutely.
So,
You laugh, but I've seen people actually take their parents to an interview. Not a hiring fair, an actual interview, which is awkward for all of us. But going back to what you said too, and then we'll get into some real learning stuff because I want to talk a little bit about that as well. Going back to people who quit after a couple of weeks, I've always been enamored by that because going back to what you said earlier, you don't know what you don't know. And you walk into a job, and I don't care what job it is, it can be anything from McDonald's all the way up to being the CEO of a company. It takes a while to learn what the true operation is. And watching, I'm going to use McDonald's just because it's easy, watching the people at McDonald's work from behind the counter is different than when you're actually doing it. And it takes a while to get into that.
Yes.
So you got to stick with it and learn what's truly going on. And every job is uncomfortable to start. I don't care what
I
it
agree.
is.
Absolutely.
I agree. And then you're just going to have to start over if you quit that one. So it's never made sense to me. But
And at some point, it's work.
Okay, well, there's
Right? I mean,
that.
I think they keep, it's like the honeymoon's over. Wait a minute, this is
Right.
actually work. This is a routine. I actually still have to show up and do these things. Yeah, like there's a certain amount of that, whatever you do.
Absolutely. I always advise 6 months. You've got to give it at least 6 months to
I agree.
truly know what it is that you've committed to.
And the other thing that, and not to get on this big tirade, but here's a thing to keep in mind, and this is becoming more and more prevalent. It may not seem like a big deal now, but when you hand over your resume, there's two things that, as an employer, we don't want to see. Number one is huge gaps. If there's a huge gap of employment, that's going to be a question. Everybody's going to ask, well, why weren't you working here? Now, some people have a great explanation. You know, I had a child, I had a sick relative or something like that. But a huge gap because I didn't want to work.
Let's qualify that. If it's a gap you can't explain.
Correct.
An unexplainable
You don't want
gap.
big, huge, unexplained gaps. But number two is you don't want a resume that when you're 21 years old that's 4 pages
Yeah.
long because you never stayed anywhere.
Yeah.
And one plays off the other because if you like, well, I'll leave a couple of these out. Now you've got that unexplained gap we talked about. So to Stacy's point, 6 months is pretty good.
And to your point, even if you want to leave that job, keep working until you have another job.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Like I'm not going to quit and just wait. Like no,
Right.
keep working and then
Right.
go through that part of the process.
Yeah, you
as
want
well.
to see someone who ruins their day is when I quit, and then they get home and go, and then they start
Yeah.
looking for a job.
Yeah,
and
that felt good for about
doesn't go
10
well.
seconds.
Then you get, right when you realize that is when you start to have some real world experience. So
Absolutely.
let's talk
Good
about
segue.
that's why they have me here. You have the programs with the real world learning experience. Talk a little bit about that, and then we'll tie it all together.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of opportunities for partnerships with businesses where we want our students to learn from them. Client-connected projects and internships are really two of our biggest pieces. And with client-connected projects, our students partner with businesses and they work to solve some of their problems. And it can be a great benefit to both the partner and to our students. We actually had a couple of returning partners this year that said they partnered with us last year and they were pleasantly surprised by just the solutions that our students came up with to their problems. So they wanted to partner with us again. So it just gives a different perspective. We also have a lot of internships, and our internships are really taking off this year, so we really need a lot of partners with that. And sometimes business partners are hesitant to take on interns, and I completely understand that. I understand that a business is a place of business and people have work to do. It's not a playground. I think that you can have that professionalism and work with students and teach them at the same time.
Yes.
Stacy does a great job with it. She is a pro at it.
I don't know about that, but we do it.
You do a great job with it, and I'm thankful because we couldn't offer these opportunities without people willing to do that. I think there's some hesitancy sometimes too in the fact that people are worried about confidentiality. Again, I completely understand that, and I do think that that has to be the right student, but I also think that there are tasks that students can do that they can be in an environment like that without impeding that confidentiality. And so, and I am always willing to come up with a task list that I can give our internship partners.
And when you talk about the real world learning curriculum, what all is that? What's involved in that?
You know, anything that students need to know to be successful, whether they're going into the military, whether they're going on to college, whether they're going straight into a career. It can be mock interviews, it can be, you know, our client-connected projects, getting feedback from the partners, that's huge. Being able to manage time on those projects that they have to do, the internships, learning how to be professional, learning how to communicate with others. If there's a snow day and there's no school, they need to be communicating those things, planning ahead, just any kind of real world thing that is needed. We are working with our students to try to get them up to par on those things.
What about, do you work with students? It seems like a lot of employers are having issues with the younger people that they're hiring not being able to communicate well. Is the school seeing that, and are they doing anything to help aid in that direction?
You know, yes and no. I say yes because we really work a lot with our students on teaching them to always communicate and to over-communicate, or really all of our teachers, especially with the client-connected projects and the internships. All of our teachers walk through how to do professional emails. They talk to the students about when should you be emailing, what should you be emailing about, how to email in a professional manner. So I do think that we are doing a good job of that. However, I do still think that there are some cases where students aren't getting it. You know, students even myself, have to be told things over and over before they start catching on to something.
Right.
So I think that we need that repetitiveness with them.
Mm-hmm. Along those same lines, what do you see in the realm of teaching students the difference between speaking with your friends and speaking professionally?
Absolutely.
Right? And understanding that there is a difference there. It's not good or bad, it's just a difference, and understanding what that is.
And the same with texting even, because a lot of our business partners, they will ask if they can text with the students so that way, especially on the internship site, and we do let them do that, but students have to learn that it's professional. And I will say I am proud of our students in the fact that I had a student show me one of their texts and tell me, this is the client and they're not texting professionally. So students are starting to recognize it.
You know, I've noticed though, and it's a good thing, in the texting world, it seems like people are getting back to more professional texts, and I think part of that is because remember these abbreviated texts we used to send were back. That was back from the
keyboard,
flip phone days where you
Yes.
But now that you have a true keyboard, but I personally, the ones I get are mostly better. I get some every now and then where I'm thinking, who is this? But for the email too, if you're gonna, this is my tip for the day. If you're going to email someone in a professional manner, don't use slang. Don't use abbreviations that like you are for your. Actually write the word out. And remember, much like love, an email is forever. So when you get mad or upset, don't rattle off some big diatribe and send it, because it will make it back around with your name on it.
Yeah.
So you calm yourself and just remember anything that you say. And remember, hitting reply all is not always a good thing.
When I was working
little nuggets.
with new teachers, I would say it this way. I would say it and forget it, write it and regret it.
That is exactly. In fact,
I
I'm
like
going
Say
that.
it and
I
forget
am
it.
going
I
to
like
write that
that.
Say it
down.
and forget it, write it and regret it.
That is very
yes,
true.
That is
I
good.
would also tell them you can write anything once,
That's true.
I like that.
That
but
is
make it worth
true.
it.
So I'd like to know, if we have time for another question, is there anything new on the horizon for real world learning? It seems like it has slowly grown and morphed into something larger and greater. And now it almost feels like the entire focus of a high school career is on that +1, or the, what do you call it?
The market value asset.
Assets and the real world learning. What's next?
That is a good question. We do hope to continue to find opportunities for real world learning for our students. It's a constant shuffling of trying to find opportunities logistically for our students. And by logistics, I mean, with staffing, with rooms, those types of things. So we're always looking for opportunities, and I do have a couple of ideas that just haven't been able to yet. We haven't been able to quite put into place just because of logistical issues. But I would love to have a class where students just work on client-connected projects, and that way we could do a lot for the community. But again, it's that staffing issue.
All right, one more time. The hiring fair is when?
Friday, March 21st, and it will last until, it's open to the community from 2:30 until 5:00 p.m. at Kearney High School.
All right, very good. And don't forget to dress properly. Bring plenty of resumes. Thanks for joining us, Stacy. It's good to
Thank
see
you.
you again. Stay with us. Final thoughts coming up next.
Explore a place to visit. Explore knowledge. Explore fun. Explore relaxation. Explore adventure. Explore a hometown. Explore Kearney, Missouri.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. It's time for our final thoughts. Let's start with Nick.
Continued success for the students at Kearney High School. Congratulations to the Kearney High School Golden Girls who earned their 4th straight state title this weekend. Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations to the coaches, to the families, to all the support. I know that that's for many the culmination of many years of dancing and all of the effort and work that goes into that. So thanks so much. And again, let's keep it going.
Good job.
There you go. Winning in Kearney.
Woohoo.
Stacy, what do you have?
Yeah, it's going with the sports theme. I wanted to remind everybody that the spring sports leagues are now open at the Kearney Parks and Recreation Department. These programs emphasize safe, fun, and instructional recreation. There will be 4 leagues and 1 clinic: youth recreation baseball, softball, t-ball, and soccer. Find out more information, enroll your kids in the leagues, be a volunteer coach. Go to kearneyparks.com. There are scholarships available. Contact Ryan Marcotte at the city, 816-903-4730 for more information.
All right, very good. And let's stay with the sports theme. The other night, last Monday night, Brian and I, who's here, along with the rest of the Bulldog Radio Network, Kelly, Eric was there, Mike Davis, we got to attend there's a blast from the past.
Wow.
We got to attend the awards banquet for the football team, and we had a really good time at that event. Some great food there, by the way. They had some barbecue that was outstanding. But there's a look at some of the seniors. Those that are on your screen there, for those of you watching on TV, if you're listening on the radio, don't wreck your car or anything. Those are all the players who were named as Player of the Week during the season, during the radio broadcast. But the other interesting thing is, over the last, and leave that screen up there for a second, over the last 3 years, so this would be the 2025 seniors, they had a 35-4 record.
Wow.
They had 2 conference championships, 2 district championships, 2 undefeated regular seasons. Just an outstanding year, or series of years for those seniors. And as we move forward, I see no reason that won't continue. And there were a bunch of people, we don't have pictures of this, but there were a bunch of players that were nominated for all the state awards. And the first team All-State, out of every Kearney player that was nominated, they all made it, which is outstanding.
Wow.
I don't even know if that's ever happened before, but great event over there. Congratulations to the Kearney Bulldog football team. Looking forward to another great season. Also, for those of you who are sports fans, don't forget, coming up next, we know we have basketball that'll start to wind down, but fear not, it's time for baseball and softball. And our baseball and softball coverage will continue on 102.7 FM. And you can follow the website for more information about that.
The official sign of spring.
There
baseball.
you go. That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. Joining us next time for another edition of Kearney Live.